What is up, you guys? It's Ed from TechSource, and welcome to the final What is up, you guys? It's Ed back again from TechSource, and welcome to the final video of the Big Red PC project. In this video, we're going to be running some benchmarks on the PC, as well as some gaming performance tests to see how well the PC runs. Does it actually perform as good as it looks? We'll find out in this video. I also want to quickly say that for our future PC projects, we're going to try and get all the videos done within a week from each other. That way you guys aren't waiting months between each video. I know this project has been dragging on for a very long time, so that's something we're going to be working on for our future PC projects. Also, for those of you that haven't watched the build process video, I did mention in there that we're going to be building a $500 gaming budget build, and that's going to be coming to you guys this December, so make sure you guys stick around for that. Other than that, let's start the video. Hope you guys enjoy it. Alright, so the video you guys been waiting for is finally here. I will be running the benchmark tests first, and then we can jump into gaming performance tests. But before we do anything, let's take a look at Big Red's specs. So we got an Intel Core i7-4930K CPU clocked at 4.5 GHz, 32 GB of Platinum RAM with a memory speed of 2133 MHz, 2 NVIDIA GeForce GTX 780 graphics card hooked up with SLI, and for storage we got 500 GB of SSD hooked up in RAID 0, and an additional 250 GB of space in a PCI Express card. Alright, so I won't be needing both monitors for these tests since it uses up additional power, so I'm gonna turn one of them off. The first test I ran was Geekbench, and skipping to the results, we can see that the PC scored a 4012 on its single core test and a 24192 on its multi-core, which is expected when overclocking a 6-core Intel CPU. Below are some additional information for those of you that are interested, so I will just scroll through them real quick, and you can pause the video if you want more time to look at them. Next test I ran was the Cinebench R15, and once again skipping to the end, we can see that it scored 123 FPS for its OpenGL test and a Cinebench score of 1179 for the CPU test. Once again, below are some additional information for those of you that are interested. Now, the final test I ran was 3D Mark's popular Firestrike benchmark, and I even added a Firestrike Extreme for you PC enthusiasts. And skipping to the end, we can see the Firestrike bench score of 10,115, whereas the Firestrike Extreme benchmark resulted in a score of 4972. I'm sure with the new GTX 980 graphics cards, these scores would be a lot higher, but as I said in my previous videos, we purchased these parts way before the new graphics cards were available. Alright, so moving on to the fun stuff, the gaming performance tests. I will be running each game on 4K settings, as well as 1080p, since this PC does pack enough power for 4K gaming. First up, we got Metro Last Light. I'm not going to screen capture since it will lower the actual FPS, so instead I will record the screen with the camera so you can actually see the FPS real time. It will be located on the top left of the screen, and as you can see here, the settings are set to max on 4K resolution, and yes, the motion blur and tessellation settings are maxed as well. So from basic maneuvers like walking around or running around without any combat, I get a steady 30 to 40 FPS without the frames passing 40. Now when we get to actual action that involves shooting and effects, the FPS does dip below 30 by a few frames and does not go up to 40 at all. In fact, it's at a constant 27 to 30 FPS. I think this is a much better and detailed way of testing FPS instead of just tossing out a random number. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section down below. Okay, so downgrading it to 1080p, there is a significant difference. The frame counter doesn't budge even one frame, and it's at a constant 60 FPS even during combat situations. Next up, we got Batman Arkham Origins. Once again, it is played in maximum 4K settings, and it doesn't seem to go above 50 FPS. Again, this is the outside world, and the FPS may be much higher indoors since there is a lot going on out here. So maneuvering around, you still get a steady FPS until you get into combat, which then drops to the 40s and stays consistent in and out of combat. So with 4K settings, you can safely get between 40 to 50 FPS, which is more than playable settings. Dipping down to 1080p maximum settings, you get your constant 60 FPS. I think at this point it's safe to say that this PC will dominate any game in 1080p settings, but we do have one more game to test, and that is Call of Duty Ghosts. Now, why don't we have Advanced Warfare Edition? Well, we do. It's just on the PS4 instead of the PC, so you're gonna have to deal with it. Alright, so for 4K maximum settings, we get anywhere from 80 to 90 FPS consistently throughout the game. Then again, the Steam engine is notorious for higher frame counts and smooth gameplay, but nonetheless, you can get a very good experience playing this game in 4K settings. The frames may dip a little more on larger maps, but I highly doubt you will get anything under 60. Switching down to 1080p, you get capped at 90 FPS, which is the game's highest possible frame count. Well, technically it's capped at 91 FPS, but needless to say that the Big Red can pretty much handle most games in 4K resolution on at least a playable setting, which won't affect your gaming experience. Anyways, that concludes the benchmarks and gaming performance test of Big Red. I really want to hear your thoughts on this video, so please leave anything you want in the comment section down below, whether that be a criticism, a suggestion, or simply a compliment. I want to read them all. Make sure you guys stick around for our $500 gaming PC that's coming up in December, and I will see you guys in the next video.